Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 27th of January. So starting off looking at the euro dollar, finally on a Friday, another strong sell-off day there. We do have the weekly pivot above, which could be a bit of a draw for it this morning. We'll see. It started moving in that direction, as you can see here. So we have the potential for that to pull back. That in itself may become another sell point potentially. Looking at it from a daily perspective here, sorry, on the 60-minute, and looking at daily pivots, already into the daily pivot itself. Again here, well, opportunities if it breaks the lows there, trend line across the lows there, really looking for further downside straight into the S1. Maybe a close above this daily pivot may give us something into the pivot, but it's not going to 35 around about 15 pips or so back to that weekly pivot, so it's not a great deal. So by the time it's closed above it, it's probably that's not going to be much of a trade unless we're looking to hold it a little bit longer. Now then you start looking at, well, where next beyond that point? Well, I don't know, because it's the resistance for the 21 that sits there at the time, maybe the 34.50 on the 4-hourly basis, but with the downward trend as strong as it is, I think it'd be worth waiting to see if it hits that and reacts to that weekly pivot. So that's the euro. The pound, I will add at this point, there's no news due out today. It's Australia Day, so happy Australian Days to our Aussie members. And right, pound dollar getting into its tighter and tighter range. It may end up getting even tighter as we move towards the end of this week, as we've got the Bank of England meeting due this week, and there is expected, just check, there was expected that we'd see an interest cut. In fact, we've got the FOMC meeting this week as well, but which is probably isolates things a little bit. Actually, official bank rate at the moment on Forex Factory, for example, is still shown as left untouched, but we'll have a look at see if that changes, and that could, and that a lot of Barclays and quite a few other people I've seen have suggested it may be cut. But there's no significant news on the pound before then. Now most of the key data is already released, so there's little to look at there, but so really Thursday could be the day we see a bit more clarity, but for now we could end up continuing in what has been over the last week or two quite a lot of chop on the pound. As it stands at this moment, well, it's trying to put in a bullish bar here, has got a daily pivot above there at 131 really ish. That zone will be a point where we 25 pips below at the moment. We'll see how it reacts out post 8 o'clock, but that could be a target right up there. Okay, aside of that, looking again a bit like the euro, looking at the break of the lows here would trigger me towards the short side and down towards that S1. So that's the pound. Dollar yen. Well, the yen with this coronavirus, it's there's lots of worries now. It's spread very quickly. There was something like 2,744 cases that were reported as of latest news there, with 80 deaths, and it's they've sealed certain parts off to try and contain it, but it's undoubtedly already been spread in some parts, and well, that's the shocker for Asia, and we could see further reaction, although the yen's pulled back a little bit, but always looked like it was pretty weak around these highs here. Bigger correction may still be there, but we've got the gap that almost needs to get filled. There's a weekly pivot above as well, which may just draw it back up there. Daily pivot also part way up there, so there's plenty of upside drawing points. The gap, the two pivots may just see that pull back there today. Aussie dollar continues its weakness, gap down there on the Aussie there as well. strong gap down, strong move down this morning, and still pushing down as I look at it at this stage here. Really, I think retracements for shorts, and is all I can say. And there's nothing. Wouldn't want to just jump aboard here, but it still looks like a very weak currency to me. Canadian dollar, that too is softening. It's last Wednesday shoved up there, Thursday, Friday not too much more, but Friday, this Monday we've already seen a bit of a surge up there. But bear in mind that there are pivots below. There's a weekly pivot below there at 31.18 area sort of thing, and may get drawn back, where there's some divergence across here. Yeah, slight divergence across the highs here, so maybe a break of this sort of rising trend line. We may see that move down towards those sort of levels. Daily pivot wise, well, that's also part way towards that weekly pivot, sitting at 31.40, so there is some potential for that. Again, you can see the trend line, I say trend line, but the trend that's been pushing up there, and he just needs a line across the bottom there and see if it does break that level. If it does, well, certainly the daily, maybe the weekly pivot could be on, but at the moment it's still charging ahead, so best left alone. Finally, New Zealand dollar. Continue on the south side here. Oh, it's back into its 50. I was sort of looking at this, but we'll wait and see if I get a bit of any reversal signals here. There is a gap above, etc. I was looking for the long side again, but at the moment this is looking weak, and I'll wait for on the shorter term frames for a bit of a reversal if I was to take this. But if it breaks this 50, well, I'll stand aside and see where next. The 200 is still facing south at the moment, and well, probably won't provide such a good support level, but we'll see. Okay, so that's that. Bit of divergence across these lows here. Again, I would like to see it sort of break above this prior high here to consider any reversals. Right, that's it. As I say, no news today, so have a great one. Bye for now.